Our top focus this morning, days after the NDA emerged victorious in the Bihar Assembly contest, a crucial meeting of the alliance is being held today to decide on the chief ministerial post. The newly elected MLAs of the NDA, comprising of the BJP, the JDU, the Hindustani Avam Morcha or HAM and the Vikashsheel Insaf Party, they will be meeting in capital Patna. The meeting will finalize the chief minister phase for the alliance government, and it is likely that Nitish Kumar will be chosen for another term. Before the NDA huddle, the BJP will be holding a meeting of its own. This is of its legislative body to elect its leader. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will be present in this BJP meeting as an observer. Sources said that after the election of the legislative party leader, the BJP will decide who will then be the deputy chief minister. This as incumbent deputy CM Sushil Modi is in Delhi to discuss government formation. Let's listen in to exactly what Prime Minister Modi had to say soon after the Bihar victory. When he gave his victory speech, he spoke out to endorse Nitish Kumar as the CM face.
हम सभी भाजपा के कार्यकर्ता नीतीश जी के नेतृत्व में एनडीए के कार्यकर्ता हर बिहारवासी के साथ इस संकल्प को सिद्ध करने में कोई कसर बाकी नहीं रखेंगे.
About 8 months after they were shut due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Maharashtra government has finally ordered the reopening of religious places across the state. From Monday, the Uddhav government has notified do's and don'ts for devotees to follow. Only asymptomatic persons will be allowed to pray inside these places of worship. Use of masks, social distancing is mandatory as well. Remember that the decision comes weeks after a mega face-off between the Maharashtra Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari and Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray over the reopening of temples. The Governor had taken a jibe at Uddhav for not reopening temples in the state, questioning his Hindutva.
जब कोरोना के रुग्णों की संख्या कम हुई है, तब हमने जाके मंदिर शुरू करने का निर्णय किया है. मैं इस निर्णय का स्वागत करता हूँ.
लेकिन नियमों का पालन करना, जैसे मास्क पहनने,
वो तो नियमों का पालन तो अगर मॉल में जाएंगे तो भी आपको करना है, मंदिर में जाएंगे या किसी प्रार्थना स्थल में, मस्जिद में जाएंगे, चर्च में जाएंगे तो सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, मास्क का इस्तेमाल ये तो आवश्यक है, उसमें कोई दो राय नहीं.
हम गत 3 महीनों से सड़कों पर उतर करके सरकार से गुहार लगा रहे थे, हाथ में घंटा बजा बजा करके सरकार को कह रहे थे कि लोगों की श्रद्धा को, आस्था को, भाव को समझो, नियमों के तहत मंदिर खोलो. पर ये अहंकारी, अंधी और बहरी सरकार उसे सुन नहीं पाई. जब पूरे देश भर में इस महाराष्ट्र की सरकार की छीतू होने लग गई तो उस दबाव के कारण ये सरकार डर गई. सरकार को अंतिमतः मंदिर खोलने का फैसला करना पड़ा.
Over to news from Delhi, where we're seeing an unprecedented COVID spike, and it is with regards to that, the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is likely to meet with Home Minister Amit Shah today to discuss the COVID situation in the national capital. It's learned that Kejriwal will be following up on the request for additional beds in central government hospitals. This as Delhi yesterday recorded 7,314 new COVID cases and 96 fresh deaths. Chief Minister Kejriwal may also seek the centre's help in ensuring cooperation from other states in controlling pollution levels, because Delhi has been witnessing a surge in COVID cases, largely due to the rising pollution levels as well, crowding at markets another factor, and people simply ignoring all norms at this point in Delhi.
कोरोना बढ़ रहा है, इसको लेके मैं भी चिंतित हूँ. दिल्ली में पिछले कुछ दिनों से कोरोना बढ़ रहा है. जो भी उचित कदम उठाने की ज़रूरत है, हम वो सभी उचित कदम उठा रहे हैं. अगले हफ्ते भी और कई सारी चीज़ें हमने सोची हुई हैं, कई सारे कदम और उठाए जाएंगे. मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि हफ्ते 10 दिन के अंदर फिर से कोरोना की स्थिति काबू में आ जानी चाहिए, कोरोना कम होना चालू हो जाना चाहिए. अभी कुछ दिन बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन मैं समझता हूं कि हफ्ते 10 दिन के अंदर कोरोना की स्थिति दिल्ली में काबू आ जाने चाहिए.
And through this morning we'll be getting your ground reports from Delhi as well on the worrying pollution levels. But let's tell you about how Prime Minister Narendra Modi celebrated Diwali with army jawans in Jaisalmer on Saturday, close to the international border with Pakistan. While lauding our brave jawans, Prime Minister Modi also hit out at both China as well as Pakistan, reiterating India's resolve of countering any adverse action by enemies.
मनवाने की कोशिश की, फिर तो जवाब भी उतना ही प्रचंड मिलेगा।
A clear warning to India's enemies. Our adversaries shouldn't dare to cast an evil eye on Indian soil. Dressed in combat fatigues, Prime Minister Modi rode an Arjun tank at Longewala forward post. The messaging was clear.
भारत की सेनाएं दुनिया के बड़े-बड़े देशों के साथ साझा अभ्यास कर रही है। आतंक के खिलाफ हम रणनीतिक साझेदारियां कर रहे हैं। भारत की सेनाओं ने दिखाया है कि वो आतंक के ठिकानों पर कभी भी कहीं भी स्ट्राइक कर सकते हैं।
Along with CDS and tri-service chiefs, the Prime Minister celebrated Diwali with Jawans in Rajasthan's Jaisalmer, a custom he has been observing since assuming office in 2014. Modi sent a stern warning to Beijing, reiterating that the age of expansionism is over.
आज पूरा विश्व विस्तारवादी ताकतों से परेशान है। विस्तारवाद एक तरह से मानसिक विकृति है।
Prime Minister Modi also sounded off Pakistan, reminding them that Indian soldiers have hit sponsors of terrorism in their own homes.
भारत आतंकियों को, आतंक के आकाओं को घर में घुस करके मारता है। आज दुनिया ये जान रही है, समझ रही है कि ये देश अपने हित से किसी भी कीमत पर रत्ती भर भी समझौता करने वाला नहीं है।
Prime Minister's decision to visit Longewala is also special. The sector witnessed fierce fighting in the 1971 war against Pakistan. The desert of Rajasthan was a witness to the valor of Indian troops who successfully defended its post despite an overwhelming number of Pakistani soldiers, securing Bangladesh's liberation. Not just on the battlefield, the Prime Minister also lauded the efforts of our forces in the fight against the COVID pandemic.
DRDO हो, हमारी तीनों सेनाएं हो, BSF सहित हमारी तमाम पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स ने कोविड से जुड़े इक्विपमेंट से लेकर क्वारंटीन और इलाज तक में जिस तरह युद्ध स्तर पर काम किया वो अभूतपूर्व है।
From Flashpoint Ladakh to the hotline of control to fighting the invisible enemy during the pandemic, our forces are ever vigilant, and Prime Minister Modi's visit helps in keeping up the josh of the Jawans high.
भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की।
Bureau Report, India Today.
Our Jawans who guard our borders day and night also celebrated Diwali by lighting up diyas at our border. Away from home, our heroes continue to guard us as we celebrate Diwali with our families.
Our braves make tremendous sacrifices to ensure our safety. The festivities we celebrate are no less than a gift from these soldiers as they continue to guard our borders. Miles away from their homes, these ITBP Jawans guarding the nation in -20 degrees celebrated Diwali by lighting diyas and singing in Ladakh. Amid the escalating tensions at the border, these braves are taking no chances even while celebrating Diwali.
The difference only between the common celebrations among the people, among the masses, and the army is that here it is the Sarva Dharam Sabha. Basically, these soldiers who are attending this Deepavali celebration function and puja here, you can't identify who is the Muslim, who is the Sikh, who is the Hindu, and all the festivals in the army are being celebrated together.
The situation is no different with BSF Jawans at Araspura sector.
Is being celebrated with great joy and enthusiasm here at the international border in Jammu's Araspura sector, and behind me here you can see that our brave BSF Jawans have taken out some time. They are celebrating the festival of Deepavali by bursting crackers. You can see the great display of camaraderie here also.
The festivities are always second to their first priority, ensuring India's safety.
देशभक्ति पहले है सर, देश अपना ड्यूटी फर्स्ट देन होम।
अच्छा। परिवार जो है बाद में है, पहले राष्ट्र है।
पहले राष्ट्र है सर, देश सबसे पहले है, बाद में परिवार है सर।
जहाँ मैं प्रेजेंट हूँ मेरी फैमिली वो है, मेरा देश मेरी फैमिली है, तो हम दिवाली यहाँ सेलिब्रेट करेंगे, अच्छे से मनाएंगे, खुश रहेंगे साथ में।
Border security force at Agartala even exchanged sweets with border guard Bangladesh to celebrate Diwali. Prime Minister Modi also lauded the sacrifices and determination of our braves.
आज भारत के 130 करोड़ देशवासी आपके साथ मजबूती से खड़े हैं। आज हर भारतवासी को अपने सैनिकों की ताकत और शौर्य पर गर्व है।
Amidst the festivities, we should not forget to express our gratitude to those who miss out on the revelry so that we can celebrate with our loved ones. With Ashraf Vani and Sunil Ji Bhatt, Bureau Report, India Today.
After Pakistan's unprovoked firing and shelling along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir, India summoned the charged affairs of the Pakistan High Commission over ceasefire violations, lodging a strong protest with Pakistan. All the updates in this report.
India's punitive strike pulverizes Pakistan. In one of the fiercest firing in retaliation to Pakistan's ceasefire violation. Pakistan on Friday indulged in heavy cross-border shelling along the line of control, in which 5 security personnel and 6 civilians lost their lives. Pakistan deliberately targeted civilian areas. The retaliation was swift and unprecedented. The heavy shelling by Indian forces left the Pakistani troops running for their lives. Indian Army responded to shelling from across the line of control, destroying enemy positions, terror launch pads and fuel dumps.
Every year during Indian festivals, Pakistan sends terrorists across the borders, and to give them cover, the Pakistani soldiers, they do ceasefire violations. The Indian security forces have hammered Pakistan like hell. This is the exact language which Pakistan understands.
India is also giving a befitting reply to the forces, and I'm hopeful that Pakistan, some good sense will prevail on Pakistan, because they are trying to instigate some sort of war or a small sort of a snap war with India.
11 Pak soldiers were killed while 16 were injured. According to intercepts of Pakistan Army's communication, those killed included 2 commandos from its special service group.
Most of the people living near the line of control had been shifted to the safer places, but there is the tension which is escalating between India and Pakistan, particularly on the eve of Diwali here in Kashmir. And army has been put on the highest alert, and Indian army is responding to the Pakistani ceasefire violations on LOC. As well, what we know from the sources that there is a heavy damage which has been put by the Indian action in Pakistan, which includes the destroying of some launching pads, what Indian Army says, as well as some of the bankers, and those casualties are yet to be reported from Pakistan.
India used Pike anti-guided missiles to pound Pakistani armed posts. These lethal missiles busted bunkers and also blew terror hideouts across the LOC. With over 200 terrorists killed, ISI along with terror groups like Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba are jittery. This year, 4,052 ceasefire violations have taken place compared to 3,233 last year. But Pakistan shouldn't forget Balakot and that this is a new India which isn't afraid to hit back hard. With Ashraf Wani, Bureau Report, India Today.
Welcome back. The death of journalist Parag Bhuyan, who was killed after a speeding car hit him outside his house in Tinsukia district of Assam, has triggered a massive political storm in the state. The journalist's colleagues, the Congress, they're claiming foul play in the case, demanding justice for the scribe.
Tinsukia town is up in arms, demanding justice for Parag Bhuyan, a TV channel reporter. The 53-year-old correspondent of Pratidin channel was critically injured after he was knocked down by a vehicle near his home on National Highway 15 on Wednesday. He succumbed to his injuries at a hospital. Police have identified the vehicle that moved down Bhuyan through CCTV footage and have arrested the driver and his assistant from Arunachal Pradesh.
The 7881 he gari khon poa jay namsai thana hojugot ami thana loi ana hoy gari driver aru handyman driver jon James Mura CCTV footage to actually seize kora hoy seize kori pala eta digital evidence hisabe আমি হেতু ইউজ কৰিম কেছটো আমি ইতিমধ্যে এখিনি কাম কৰি আছো
Parag Bhuyan's colleagues refuse to believe that his death was accidental. They say Bhuyan, who was a brother of former BJP minister Jagdish Bhuyan, had been receiving threats for his reports. The Congress says Bhuyan was killed as he was exposing the BJP. After the case took a political color, Assam Chief Minister Sonowal ordered a CID probe. With Hemantanath, Bureau Report, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.